New injuries. There was 2 new ones, right? Forgot my sheet. Yeah, Verrett and Greenlaw, they've been out for a little bit. They'll be fine. I don't think they'll play this week, but nothing serious, just a hip and some foot plantar fasciitis. The new ones, Richie had a knee, probably going to need some surgery. It'll be like a 6-week injury, something like that. So we just found that out. And I believe that was it.
Hip for Verrett and
Hip for Greenlaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Richie James, you say 6 weeks?
That's what, just was told coming off. He just got an MRI, and we just found that out.
What about Jalen?
Jalen Hurd? Oh, Jalen. He's had some stinger issues. We left him out of practice the last couple of days, but he was good to go today, even though he walked through. But he should play. Yeah, he should play Sunday.
And what about your plan for starters, guys like Trent and Alex Mack, and on Sunday?
I mean, ideally, just as a whole for starters, I'd like to get close to the first half. I always say the whole half, but I thought we had a real good week of practice, so hopefully we've seen enough, and I can take them out sometime in the second quarter. There's probably a few guys here and there that I might do earlier than that. Yeah, he was out here today, so that was good, even though it was walkthrough. I know he was feeling too hurt to go yesterday, but I think things are looking good for him to play Sunday. I don't mind this game. I plan on putting Jimmy out there with the starters and going, and I plan on mixing Trey in there, kind of like I wanted to last week. We'll see how it plays out, but I definitely want to get Trey some looks with the ones in there.
John said before the game that the plan was a series of Jimmy, 2 of Trey, and then Jimmy coming back in. That was the first I never heard of that. What's the idea behind that? I mean, is there any part of it that just get Jimmy used to the idea of playing and then not playing for a little bit and then playing again?
No, that's another thing to do from it, but I think the main reason was I wanted to play Trey with the starters, and I didn't want to leave the starters in so long to do that. So I wanted to make sure he got a number in. And if I left Jimmy in for 20 plays, which I thought was going to be a couple drives, I thought that'd be too long than to have them stay 20 plays for Trey. So once he had that on the first drive, I thought we were good. But that was just that game. I don't see it this game, but I'll hopefully get Trey in some there. Once Jimmy's out, he'll probably be done.
How big is the challenge of getting your starters the reps, but still looking at the guys that you need to decide if they're going to make the team?
It's a big challenge, but that's also why practice is, to me, tells us a lot more than some of these games. Games kind of the games tell a ton too, but you get the basis of all your decisions in practice, and you kind of want to confirm it in the game. So there's some situations you need, but it's not like you need that for all 90 guys or 80 or whatever we have left.
Listening to John talk on KMBR today, he made it sound like that as long as Jalen Hurd is healthy, he's talented enough to make the team. Do you see it like that? Do you need to see him play well, or just is his health more of a factor in terms of?
No, I've seen Jalen when he's gone. I know he's one of our top 6 receivers, so that's not an issue. But that's how it is for guys like, that's how D Ford was last year. That's how Tart is. We know they're one of our top guys at those positions, but it's such a scary thing and hard decision for the 53. We have other guys there after those guys who are good and who can make this team and really help us. But you got to make sure guys are healthy enough to play through the year, that they don't just get to week 1 and only last a quarter and a half, and then they got another injury, and you're wishing you had a guy there, but he didn't make the 53 because of that. So that's just, there's no right or wrong answer. That's just the challenge of it, and you try to get as much information as you can, which is, usually if they can make it through a whole camp, they can make it through the season. But obviously they weren't in a situation where they could do that. So that's the dilemma with going into Camp Hurd, and that's the stress of it for everybody, coaches, players, the 53-man roster. But that's just part of it.
Do you think you'll miss the 4th preseason game? I know that's a weird thing to say, but just in terms of being able to evaluate, maybe look back in the roster.
Yeah, I was probably as happy as anybody on the planet when they canceled the 4th game, because it's not one I ever enjoyed at all. But now that we don't have it, yeah, there's a couple things. Like, you'd like to see a couple guys that maybe you weren't thinking about on practice squad, but they get to play for 4 quarters, and they show something in 4 quarters that, let's keep that guy, and you maybe change 1 or 2 decisions. So a little of that I'll miss, but I'm not trading it in to have to go through that game, because even though you want to play guys in that 4th game that weren't going to be entertained, there's still a lot of guys playing in that game who have to play, and I've lost too many guys that game just trying to get through it.
Have you seen enough of Simba Webster to have him back there as a return specialist or Benjamin now that Richie's out of the picture for 6 weeks? Or spot you may just keep open and see what's.
Yeah, I mean, I think with us, I think it's really hard to make a team as the returner. I mean, you have to be one of those six returners, and if you're close to one of those guys, the fifth or sixth guy, usually it's got to be the fifth guy because you only get 5 guys up on game day. If you're close to that guy and you have return skills or you're a gunner and you bring something else to the table, then you can pass a guy who might be a little bit ahead of you as a wideout. But if you're not close to being able to contribute as a wideout, it's really tough to make it as a returner. And I think both of those guys, Travis and Simba, have done some really good things for us, win in and out receiver, and we know they have some experience in their career as returners too. So, but it's tough if you have a guy who's only on there for special teams, and you have one guy go down in the game. Now you're deciding whether to put a special teams guy out there or play with the tight end.
You've talked about wanting to use Trey potentially like the Saints used Taysom Hill. Do you have any concerns about him being a rookie and not getting him sort of in a rhythm and just having those sort of disjointed reps as opposed to back-to-back reps?
Yeah, you have concerns about everything, but that's why we're working through everything, trying to figure everything out, seeing what they're good at, what they can help us with in the team, how to balance stuff out, and that's why we're practicing everything. Never been in a situation where I had a skill set where I had 2 guys like that you could practice it, and that's what we're finding out.
Say 3 more guys. How did Michael Pruitt do after he got back from the injury?
I think he's done a great job. I mean, it's real unfortunate for him how I think it was his calf. But doing that in the first couple days, maybe the first day of practice, because we know he's been a good player. He's had some success in this league, and he's been behind the 8 ball with that injury. So late getting back into it, and whenever you do that, it takes a little bit of time to get your football legs back, which I know he's been battling, but I've been really impressed with him here in these 10 days or so since he's come back.
How does potentially playing 2 quarterbacks impact your potential decision to keep a third?
Not much. I mean, you only got 2 up on game day. So, I mean, it doesn't affect it.
Without that 4th preseason game, how satisfied have you been with the dress rehearsal week leading up to the regular season?
It's been good. I mean, it's not it's less for me. It's more for the players and just for everyone to see the routine. I mean, even guys who have been here, you get in a routine and you forget. So you're up at some different times, you're in some different places at times. Your lift and when you eat, it's a little bit different each day. So I think it's good for the players just to go through it and so they're not wondering where the hell they are in week 1.
What's Wayne Gallman brought to the team beyond just the running ability? Has there been some veteran dependability there too?
Yeah, I think Wayne's been, I've always been a fan of Wayne's, and I think he's gotten better, a lot better since he's been here too. How he's done his blitz pickups, how hard he's been running, the difference in him in the preseason 1 and preseason 2 I thought was huge. Not that anything was bad with the 1, but I thought he took a big step forward, and hopefully he'll take a big step forward this week too.
Even though it's just a preseason game and they have moved to Vegas, is there still that excitement of playing the Raiders?
I always like when our fans are pumped up about stuff, so that makes it cooler. It's still a preseason game to me, so I'm not going to sit there and get too excited about it, and I don't get too caught up in those rivalries, but I think it's always more fun when the fans are more into it.
Just with Richie, when did he get hurt?
It started bothering him yesterday in practice, so we shut him down halfway through practice, and I think he got the MRI this morning. Started with an M, so, and I know 6 weeks. They said around 6 weeks, so I'm guessing, but I don't want to mess that up. So, do you know? Did they say that? All right. Knee. Yeah, knee. But I don't like saying that because everyone assumes ACL and stuff. I know it's not that one.
Did you mention boats in Florida? What their plan is for Sunday?
Yeah, D won't play. I'm going to talk to Nick today or tomorrow, probably at the hotel. Odds are he probably won't, but I haven't decided for sure yet. Good? All right, guys.
Mm-hmm.